Amazon, sitting through two logos that functionally, practically, and irritatingly represent the same thing. Between Star Wars and The Matrix, we have officially covered all the possible interactions between red and blue. Could it be possible that maybe the other colors have something interesting to say too?
Eye movement detected.
This is the appendix of medical announcements, just a weird little thing that has no real reason for existing.
What is 2 + 2? Incorrect.
Uncertain if this is evidence of his compromised mental state or a deeper commentary on the future of the American education system.
You have been in an induced coma. You may experience some memory loss. Difficulty speaking.
Being fully aware of how f***ed up he is, but still being a dick about him getting that math question wrong. Who decided that coming at the disoriented person with a buzzing set of blades in the name of grooming was an immediate priority?
For your own safety, please return to the medical platform.
If safety was a concern at any level, he would have been strapped to the bed to begin with. Also, I'm not sure how this mechanical arm would have been able to safely return him to the bed even if it hadn't degloved him. Why did the computer, that was anal about eye movement, not do a damn thing when the crew started dying? This mission depends pretty heavily on its human component, so you'd think getting them there alive would be step one, or at least a failed step the movie would bother explaining to us. You know what would have been more helpful than the sassy robot arm? An actual video that explains his mission and what the hell is going on. NASA knew memory loss and disorientation were possible, so a little "here's your mission that you had no choice to accept" video would have been smart, instead of leaving it to this window and a panic attack.
Why is there an atomic resolution scanning electron microscope? Why do I know that?
These questions only exist to establish that Grace retains scientific knowledge despite his memory loss. The microscope itself is completely irrelevant. It could have been a muffaletta sandwich.
Am I smart?
Intelligent life creating a causal loop with a question that appears negatively correlated with intelligence. Oh man, they dragged that poor Las Vegas sphere into this mess. The movie will spend all the many sometimes on Grace fumbling around the ship, confusingly touching buttons that should but do not kill him.
Call, Houston.
Unknown command.
Why would that be an unknown command? Even if it can't immediately communicate with Houston, it should at least recognize the command enough to say, nope, those fools are a trillion billion miles away, try again later. Grace will use these chairs in a way that would offend even William Riker. Having Grace stroll for all this time is a great way to tell us just how far away he is, while also feeling wildly inefficient as a way for the actual crew to call up information.
That's not our son.
Making me believe for a moment that the solar system was going to have to take a planeternity test. Thinking a lowly peasant like myself would be intimidated by your space magic and not recognize a basic velocity equation when I see one. But also math. The sad face is totally understandable, but it should be followed with a confused face too. He has no idea about the astrophage, and this is a journey that should take thousands and thousands of years using conventional rockets, not 113.8. Jesus Christ, superstar man!
We are just minutes away from the flyby through the Petrova line near Venus.
Flashback, suppressed memories, position narration. Also, it took me an embarrassing amount of time to realize these flashbacks weren't just for the audience and were actually Ryland's memories returning, and I'm blaming the movie for that.
Oh my god. Sorry, I have to go now.
Let's talk about this interview. Why the fudgery was she here in the first place? The fact that she walks out mid-interview means she should have already been at NASA, or whatever lab she's supposed to be in, to review the sciencey shit as it arrives. This would be like one of the mission specialists during the Apollo 11 mission doing an interview and then suddenly saying, "Oh my, I have to go. It looks like someone is about to step on the moon for the first time."
Sound waves are physical and at different frequencies.
Movie recklessly combines teacher, goofball, and Ryan Gosling into a highly concentrated charm compound calibrated for maximum audience attachment. We're about 2 scenes away from this man curing a puppy's sadness.
Are they really eating the sun?
Sun chips sneaking their marketing into this pronoun gaming.
What is the speed of light, Olivia?
Not including in a vacuum.
It's melting your hands, Olivia!
Teaching kids that there could theoretically be a situation where correctly answering physics questions will save them from lava. That method of teaching was only practiced by Romans and went out of fashion sometime around 79 AD.
186,000 miles per second!
Actually, the correct answer is 186,282 miles per second. While that might sound nitpicky now, it'll make all the difference when you're watching a compilation of videos of your children rapidly growing up and dying without you.
What is the Petrova line?
Ah, pass!
You can't pass.
The writers won't allow it. Damn it, they put this kid here to entice exposition, and damn it, man, your exposition will be enticed.
Guys, 2 years ago.
Grace falls for his own "you have to answer the question if you're holding the ball of lava" gambit, forcing him into a vomit session of exposition. Easily avoidable if he'd simply employed the "I'm rubber, you're glue" defense.
Over the next 30 years, the Earth could cool, maybe 10 to 15 degrees.
Creating a climate scenario that I suspect has already inspired oil companies to start asking whether dimming the sun is economically scalable. Also, I wanted to remove a sin for the movie correctly, presenting a 10 to 15 degree global temperature shift as civilization ending. Unfortunately, humans remain wildly inconsistent about applying this logic in both thermal directions. Thus concludes another edition of CinemaSins Leaves Notes for Future Rock-Based Alien Anthropologists.
Right now, the best minds in the entire world are on it.
Global catastrophe movie forgets to account for the percentage of humanity that would immediately become conspiracy influencers cliche. Also, this smash cut is meant to be hilarious, but since he is one of the greatest minds in the world and does legitimately save the day, this joke doesn't work, evidence of which can be found upon request through my comparative analysis thesis titled Because I Said So. The most optimistic vision this movie puts forward might well be a future where man is stealing the jobs of hardworking robots. Rylan will now Matt Damon montage his way, rummage his way through dead people's stuff because Andy Weir apparently specializes in sad, lonely science men. This always muscles note manages to be as highly scientific as it is completely unhelpful. Jellyfish are framed as calming despite looking alien, venomous, and untrustworthy cliche. Grace was either woken up far too early or he has far too quickly embraced the idea of living his best Chuck Nolan life.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not good at jokes.
Since this could have been a genuine response to a stranger entering his classroom, I'd actually say she's too good at jokes.
Eva Stratt, I'm with the Petrova Task Force. I need your help.
Considering the crucial timing, this feels like one of those chats that could have been an email. Pro tip, all in-person chats could have been an email.
Did you write this?
Task Force, tasked with saving the world, recruits disgraced scientists because they once wrote a very specific thing at college that proves they're the smartest human alive cliche.
The Goldilocks zone is for idiots, why everyone is wrong about life.
The Goldilocks zone is actually an incredible place to start looking for life. It's the one place we know life has already happened. Geez, sounds like he's taking an extreme point of view to get people's attention. What is he, personifying the internet?
That's lava.
It's not.
Ava would be pompacilent at identifying lava sins.
No one in your field wants anything to do with you because you refuse to back down from a very unpopular view, and I can give you a chance to prove them all wrong.
Ava appealing to Grace's ego instead of saying the sun really is going to die and your expertise might actually help us prevent that might be the most damning indictment of the male condition that this movie didn't mean to make.
Water is required for life on Earth, sure, but a completely different planet might have completely different conditions. I don't know why that makes me such a nut.
The movie presents this theory like Rylan just proposed replacing oxygen with Mountain Dew, when in reality, speculation about non-water-based life is already part of the discourse in astrobiology. He might be asked to calm down and put his shirt back on at AbSciCon, but he probably would not be in scientific exile.
Petrova line samples splashed down last night. I want you to tell me what they are, how they work.
And he is, of course, the only person on the entire planet who could possibly help them do this. My tone suggests I do not believe that to be the case.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology.
And I ride a bike to work.
And I'm also a pro at the rapid-fire non-sequitur game.
It's a rise on the surface of the sun. Does it sound like a water-based life form to you?
Ava choosing to work really hard to get Grace on her team when opening with this probably would have saved her and us a lot of time.
Sun's really dying, isn't it?
I'm not sure the security detail Carl is the most qualified man to ask this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just shut the up then.
Is all of this necessary?
Asking whether all this is necessary now instead of before getting into the hazmat suit and entering the sealed alien room because it's funnier when you're dressed like a Teletubby.
Am I expendable? Is that why you want me? It's almost like you don't care if I die.
Rylan thinks the planet has time for a conversation about how he's never met or heard of the government before.
It's gonna take a long time. It took like 200 years to figure out how bacteria work.
Assuming that you don't have a significant head start over the scientists of the 1600s who were still calling bacteria animalcules. Also, the fact that we didn't stick with the word animalcules.
Ooh. I've been dying to do this all day.
Misquoting Steve Rogers.
Uh-oh. Oh, it died.
Misquoting Annie from Game Night.
You guys fired up?
Thinking you needed to do crowd work with the military brass. All of these percentages add up to 100.01%, and no one seems to think it's weird that this alien cell is saying "f you" to math.
Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen.
Seems biology continues its obsession with the big three conference elements, while nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus suffer through another rebuilding season.
It's made almost entirely of water.
And we'll never find out how it manages to exist on the sun, which was the entire reason Grace was the one. Movie managed to turn all of Grace's best ideas into the "I guess I won't be needing this anymore" of scientific theories. Face Off and The Fifth Element both called and asked for their tunnel back.
Realizing I was wrong about the only original idea I ever had.
Grace being a whiny quitter. His belief that life can exist without water isn't immediately invalid just because they've discovered another water-based life form.
They consume the sun's energy and then they expel it for propulsion. They toot to scoot, basically.
Why did it go to Venus?
Dropping toot to scoot, but then thinking you're too good for because Uranus was unavailable joke.
I have 347 other biologists in 21 countries mobilizing as we speak.
Waiting until now to mobilize the biologists as if you had some kind of 2-day exclusivity deal with this high school science teacher.
I don't need modest. I need people who think they're right when everyone else thinks they're wrong.
Sounds like some bullshit motivational movie logic to me. I'd much rather have a bunch of scientists who use science and evidence and not an unproven hypotheses coupled with hubris. If your first instinct after getting lost in space is to become the Big Lebowski, that's like on you, man. Movie paints a picture where double capping is the new norm. I've always questioned the wisdom of sending this picture specifically to the aliens. I'm not sure it screams evolution as much as it screams we've just decided we're better than all the other chimps on our planet.
Why not stop at Mercury? It's closer.
Maybe fresh air?
Venus's atmosphere is mostly CO2.
Maybe that's fresh air to them.
Goddamn, who's the scientist here? I mean, I love Carl, but at least Dr. House usually performed his differentials with actual doctors and not the hospital security. The choice to present this scene in a way that makes it feel like this is Carl's first time on Earth too. Also, humanity approaching extinction with the emotional priorities of a suburban dad on a Saturday is definitely a vibe.
Do you have a coupon?
We don't need a coupon for the government.
Government agents being a dick to my taxes.
Which government?
All of them.
This might be one of the least organic, definitely written by a screenwriter to get a laugh exchanges of the year. Why the hell would this lady, who is in America, ask the American man which government he's from unless it was to tee up this all of them line?
It's set to emit the same infrared light frequency as Venus's CO2 atmosphere.
Movie strategically gives Ryland exactly one non-scientist friend so this exposition can masquerade as dialogue.
So if the dots move when you turn the lights on, that means they're looking for CO2.
I mean, it could also be that they're attracted to wood and duct tape, right? I'm just saying there's a chance this Home Depot science lab might not be accounting for all the variables.
Uh-oh.
Why are you saying uh-oh?
The astrophage moved off the slide.
But that's a good thing, right? The problem isn't that they move. The problem is that you were somehow unprepared for them to move, despite that being your entire damn hypothesis.
If I open the door in the light, they're gonna escape, and then we'll lose them forever.
Bold move, making humanity's last hope the scientist who assumes the space mold would leave Earth before killing everyone on it. I don't know if Reynolds' rap was scientifically optimal, but it definitely tested well with the movie's accounting department.
Carl and I made a baby.
What?
We figured out how astrophage breeds.
This guy refusing to simply tell the science people the science things in normal science ways.
Don't move.
Strat wastes no time in getting this crucial information from Grace, and by waste no time, I mean immediately hangs up the phone, sends a jet to pick him up, and door dashes his ass to an aircraft carrier lab in the ocean so he can tell her in person instead of just telling her on the phone. The plane flyaway is not the plane he got into, and it's causing aviation enthusiasts psychic damage. Also doing all this unnecessary knocking maverick bullshit during your mission to save the planet.
Okay, so this is kind of a tough room, so don't take it personal.
Thinking this is easily interpretable as you're about to present your discovery to a room of the finest scientific minds in the world with vomit on your tastefully striped sweater.
While your experiment was crude and clumsy, our scientists have replicated his results.
Which makes the rush to get him here even more confusing. They don't physically need him here to replicate what he did if the people here have already replicated it. God damn, it's like she knows this is Ryan Gosling and he's contractually obligated to be in 90% of the scenes.
Stand up, Dr. Brace. Stand up. I hereby grant you top secret clearance
Apparently top secret clearance only works if summoned vertically.
to all information pertaining to Project Hail Mary.
Roll credits.
Every star was infected by its neighbor except one.
Tau setting.
A star that is just close enough to be reachable before Earth dies, but far enough away to be incredibly inconvenient for the crew having to visit it, or what we call the Goldilocks zone of plot developments.
You can't just build an interstellar ship.
The ship is not really the problem. The energy required to power the ship is the problem.
So what you're saying is that the ship absolutely is the f***ing problem. By that logic, my Chevy Equinox is also a spaceship. It just lacks the fuel to get to space.
The astrophage is the fuel.
Astrophage, both causing and solving the problem, feels suspiciously screenplay-shaped.
Provided we can make enough of it. And for that, we need you, my friend.
But they don't need him. They have the other guy who just said,
Our scientists have replicated his results.
and he even has the same sense of humor.
Whoop, there it is.
So you want to build a near light-speed spaceship, have it travel further than any human-made object has ever traveled, and visit a star just to see what's up.
Grace would be astrophagenominal at CinemaSins.
There won't be enough fuel for a round trip, so they sent their findings back to Earth on probes.
Movie establishes a reproducible fuel organism. Movie establishes the reproductive requirements. Movie immediately abandons the concept of making more fuel when they get there. Also, holy shit, This is such a good idea, I might have an aneurysm. Why can't they just send the fuel later? It's going to take them 4 years to get to Tau Ceti, but time dilation shit means 13 years will have passed on Earth. So why don't they send them on the mission with enough fuel to get there, and then keep making fuel, and send a follow-up ship to bring them home? This isn't about how much fuel they can carry, it's about how much time they have to make the fuel. There's no reason for them to die out there, and thus these three have really pissed off NASA at some point.
And the astronauts die in space?
To be fair, we all die in space. They'll just be attached to a spaceship instead of Earth.
The alternative is to just do nothing and to starve and to kill each other and watch everything on this planet go extinct.
Interesting that humanity immediately pivots to interstellar suicide missions instead of expanding the successful astrophage killing experiment. Also, I'm no science wizard, but maybe the magical space fuel line deserved at least one "what if we harvested all of this" meeting.
I wish you were still here. I wish I wasn't alone.
Skip! As we hang out in the holodeck, I'm reminded that the reason you need fuel to get anywhere is because everything is so damn massy. Okay, maybe losing the IMAX compartment wouldn't have given them enough fuel to get home, but it would have given some extra fuel to maneuver with, should something go wrong.
Pilot detected.
I'm not a pilot!
For some reason, he keeps reacting to pilot detected like the ship just accused him of murder.
What the fuzzing? Fuzzer!
Censoring your swears just in case your journey is adapted into a book that needs to be adapted into a PG-13 movie.
Stroboscope operational.
It's weird that the movie included a reenactment of the time my college girlfriend agreed to use my Petrovoscope.
Clip A detected.
Mary clearly has a great sense of dramatic timing, considering the ship should have been detected by the space radar long before Grace accidentally detected it with his naked ass eyeballs.
Pilot detected!
Please engage restraint.
Pilot detected!
Okay, but you didn't need a restraint the last time you did the pilot detected thing. I think Mary might be the actual villain of the movie. Grace starts pressing buttons at random and somehow doesn't accidentally vent the warp core, turn Mary into a bowl of petunias, or send himself straight to that weird library that some version of Matthew McConaughey is still crying in.
Erratic maneuver detected.
Nothing will be done about this erratic maneuvering other than acknowledge its existence. Grace sighs in relief, as if for a second he truly believed he would be able to outrun the ship that is 10 times his size and clearly more advanced.
Shields up!
There are no shields on board the helmet.
Why not?
Grace instinctively calling for shields proves the long-term effects of science fiction conditioning need to be studied more extensively before humans attempt interstellar travel, lest we die in a very dumb way. Also, this confirms that Grace does in fact know how to do a Star Trek reference, but actively chose not to scream, "This is SETI Alpha 5" when he arrived. Grace has no idea what this projectile from the other ship is, but his cowering suggests that he might think it's a bomb. So why the didn't he try to zoom the ship away? Sure, he doesn't have shields, but this would be the perfect time for some of those erratic maneuvers.
Why is it moving so much slower than the last one? They think I'm dumb.
Watch that self-talk, Grace. It's just as likely that they feel dumb for firing the first one at you too fast, and including no understanding of what it was they were throwing. Scene will haphazardly suit up for all the some time. No matter the time crunch, there's no way I'm punching and hitting a helmet that's standing between me and a total recalling. Like Grace, I have not had spacewalk training, but I am confident I would not approach my first attempt by emulating Bambi on ice. You know, I think it was Isaac Newton who once said, if you can't science the shit out of something with a people's elbow, then it's probably not worth sciencing the shit out of it at all.
Xenon's a gas. I think this thing's broken.
Ryland's strong scientific instinct to validate the broken equipment hypothesis by actively breaking the equipment probably wouldn't survive peer review.
Most of this equipment won't work in zero gravity.
And we have a team to develop and build zero-gravity versions of this equipment.
We would need years for that, and we have months.
This massive bottleneck is about to be solved through a conversation-level breakthrough, instead of the thousands of engineering hours it probably deserves.
What's the alternative?
We make gravity.
Also, Grace's memories will continue to reveal themselves to him exactly when he needs his pre-coma knowledge the most and not a scene before.
Up is down, left is right, Xenon's a solid, aliens are real.
Of all the Ghostbusters to emulate, I'd advise Egon over Venkman.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
I'm wrong about everything and everything's wrong.
Preempting my commentary on the matter.
Lefty tighty righty loosey.
This works.
Oh no!
He survives this working. This is a 3D representation of some part of the galaxy, so putting aside how many different regions Grace had to compare it against, would it even line up with the star charts we have from Earth's POV?
You're a long way from home.
But much like you, not far enough away for the location of Tau Ceti to be an issue. Listen, space is f***ing big, and the fact that two different species ended up at the same star is about as likely as one of them not being an astronaut, communicating with an alien using a label that wouldn't make sense to 80% of the people on Earth. Grace uses this system of ropes to get around the ship in zero G, and that is somehow not something the brain boxes at NASA were able to engineer. Now he doesn't realize unsafe docking behavior is a great way to get a space TD. This first contact is giving aggressive colonoscopy POV. Also, this alien deciding to build a bridge to an unknown ship whose occupant could be violent, poisonous, or just philosophically at odds with them. If I was my species' last hope, I'd be staying way the f*** away. Same goes for Grace, who comes from a planet that can't even find a way to stop being violent, poisonous, or philosophically at odds with itself.
You want me to go back in my ship?
Makes me wonder why the alien made this tunnel accessible at all if he wasn't ready for Grace to be in it yet.
It is not advised to modify the centrifugal settings of the ship.
Especially if you haven't got a fucking clue what any of the buttons do. The movie's confidence that none of these wires were connected to anything important feels ambitious. Ryland using every flashlight at once to light this scene is just a waste of batteries. Roger Deakins would never.
I made you a ship.
After all the high-quality sculptures Rocky's been giving you, bringing him this ramen Star Destroyer feels deeply disrespectful. There are now 2 different planets that most certainly do not have time for this.
Can't seem to see your face.
Assuming the alien even has one is pretty damn fascist. What? Sorry, fascist. Easy mistake in these times.
Take my helmet off.
I'm not sure why the alien assumes that the helmet is even removable, instead of being an intrinsic part of this brand new form of life they've just met.
2 rings of 8. Oh, 2.
So Rocky communicates that oxygen exists, and Grace hears this room is full of breathable air, all while the ship full of testing equipment quietly watches this happen. Also, he seems to be forgetting that this is playing fast and loose with every life on Earth. For nothing. Best case scenario, he's breathing the same air he's breathing in the suit. Worst case scenario, he gets Brian De Palma.
If we're gonna save our planets, we have to learn how to communicate.
Movie will now speed run the entire plot of Arrival.
You know, they say math is the universal language.
Okay, but a tape measure isn't math. There are still symbols on there that won't be understood, especially if it's measuring in f***ing inches.
We both have time, right? These are the hands, and these are the numbers.
Teaching the alien that Earth erroneously has a 12-hour day or is populated by people too lazy to count to 24. The biggest lie this movie tells is that this fully extended tape measure would be this easy to unf***.
I'm gonna call you Rocky. You know, because you look like a giant rock. Oh.
Clearly a missed opportunity for Rocky to immediately name Grace Meathead.
What is that? Is that good?
It's like Rocky attended the Dr. Zoidberg School of Expressing Your Excitement of Things.
Your version of this is our thumbs up.
Better hope Rocky never visits parts of mainland Europe where it can just mean one, or parts of Africa where it can mean fuck you.
It's a clock.
It could also be a bomb. We still know basically nothing about this species.
I thought I might record you.
It seemed bold of NASA to send up this very specific audio editing equipment. I don't know how likely they thought it was that the crew of Hail Mary would find the time to start podcasting with the nearest alien. Also, it seems like there's a visual component to at least some of how Rocky is communicating. So how is the program going to be consistent when it's missing the crucial arm wagglings?
What's your word for my name? Go ahead.
Somehow Rocky is able to communicate what the Iridian word for grace means, despite not knowing what the English word for grace means.
Check this out.
Duct taping all your devices together increases the durability of your network infrastructure for science fiction reasons.
He's a mechanic, I think.
Assuming gender and vocation. Also, thank God he's a mechanic. Would have sucked if there were 2 useless science teachers up here.
He uses a metal form of xenon.
While room temperature xenon is not a thing we can currently make, it does exist and has been created in a lab, which is why I'm maintaining that they should have sent an actual scientist on this mission.
At least it's not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while.
My college girlfriend's reaction to a pregnancy test somehow made it into the script. Since we never hear the laptop make Rocky's noises, I don't understand how he is innately understanding what Grace is saying.
What happened to them?
Grace assuming that this noise meant died instead of missing, eaten, or murdered while they slept because we just met and surprise, I'm a serial killer.
There were 3 of us and 2 died on the way here.
I wish I knew why.
They'll even make a movie about it so they can not explain it there either. I can't imagine a universe where the helpfulness of this model justifies the time it took to make.
Don't like that voice.
Missing the opportunity for Rocky to be voiced by what sounds like a yoked Yoda.
I have no idea what I'm doing in space. I don't remember.
But at this point, wouldn't he just assume that he was recruited to do the initial astrophage research and was then convinced to go on the mission? That's not a big leap, based on what he's remembered so far and the fact that he's currently, checks notes, in space.
Rocky Watch crew,
many days. Crew not wake up.
Proof that we are capable of feeling empathy for anything as long as you give it a quirky voice and kill its friends.
He is currently the world's leading authority in astrophage biology.
Movie keeps telling us this, but has done little to prove it. I would go so far as to say it's done more to make it not really believable.
I want to do a lethal injection with a little bit of heroin.
Or what the Russians like to call Tuesday morning.
I don't have the bravery gene that you all have. Trust me.
It's not a gene.
So it turns out courage won't even be required because the screenplay will remove consent from the equation.
You're in a ball.
So Rocky no die in Grace atmosphere.
Do the Iridians just not have spacesuits? I mean, sure, this is objectively funnier, but how do you have a space program that relies on giant hamster balls to interact with space?
Amaze.
Rock excitement?
Dirty. Why room so messy?
One of the most unexplained things in this movie is how standards of cleanliness are universally intuitive across species.
Both working on our distinct, individual parts of that mission. Separately. Okay.
Where's my bedroom?
Kids!
How do you look when you eat? Oh my God.
I don't know how this is functionally any different from Grace shoving food into one of his orifices. Also, I guess they were so excited by Fist My Bump that they made it foreshadowing.
But his species doesn't know about things like relativity and radiation.
The movie casually drops the fact that this species achieved interstellar travel without understanding relativity and then immediately moves on like it just said Rocky doesn't know how Wi-Fi works. Also, trying to fix a star without understanding radiation feels a bit like becoming a surgeon before discovering blood.
Use planet gravity to move with line.
You mean sort of like rest in its orbit? I didn't think of that.
I don't think we should live in a world where I think about orbital mechanics more than Grace does, and I don't think about them much.
Arrival at Tau Ceti E in 11 days, 3 hours and 14 minutes.
It's pretty obvious that they're going to need to go to Tau Ceti E at some point to check out the Petrova line, so why haven't they already started heading that way? It's an 11-day trip. That's plenty of time to science all the shit that needs to be scienced instead of chilling out with your rock out.
He's so excited about us both getting to go home. There's no harm in pretending for a little while.
Yeah, no need to tell him the truth. It's not like there's any chance the species capable of sending 23 of its people on this giant-ass ship were better at creating the astrophage fuel and might have some to spare. No need to gamble with a perfectly miserable ending.
In 3, Apollo trains him, and in 7, he trains Apollo's kid.
Spoilers! Also, the war crime of calling Creed Rocky 7 feels like we've taken whitewashing to its insane conclusion.
I say neither, you say.
Neither.
Why are they looking down here if the big-ass words are up on the screen behind them? Karaoke might be the one human invention we can be proud of, and you're f***ing it up, Grace.
I like Earth.
That makes one of us.
Name is...
The audience is listening?
Always wanted to be mysterious.
Skip!
People are hooking up and they all know they're gonna die.
I mean, name me a better time to hook up.
You believe in God?
Beats the alternative.
Citation needed. Apparently, Sign of the Times by Harry Styles was the late addition to the movie. Sadly, it wasn't quite late enough to miss the theatrical release entirely. Character does karaoke to prove that under their tough exterior, they are actually human and everyone is surprised cliche.
Astrophage sampler in position. Question?
Sorry, but I haven't been explicitly shown a flashback where we see Grace being taught how to use an astrophage sampler, so this scene must be invalid. This is stunningly beautiful, but I can't stop thinking that standing in the middle of this stream must be giving Grace all kinds of new space cancers.
What is Grace doing? Question?
I'm having a moment.
No doubt, but how is this any different from his view a few minutes ago? Camera is now set to infrared, but his eyes aren't. Isn't he still just seeing empty space?
Name is medium rough texture circle planet.
The need to specify the shape suggests that Rocky's people have seen planets that are not circular.
If there is some kind of microbial predator on Adrian, it'll be in the clouds where astrophage breeds.
They'll come up with a crazy dangerous plan to snag the microbes from the atmosphere of the planet, but if they've just found the microbes in the Petrova line, why can't they just keep farming them from there? Pete's going on this insanely dangerous mission.
I make long chain. I put collection device on end.
I like fishing.
What's that?
Instead of just explaining his metaphor, Grace physically shows Rocky a video in the fake holodeck, meaning Earth is freezing its collective sack-off with every passing minute.
More! No,
What?
left, be left, more left, more left. It's perfect. No, wrong.
Damn, can you imagine sitting there and just nitpicking every single thing a person does?
How much astrophage you need? Question?
2 million kilograms.
I can give.
Causing me to sob in a public theater and then forcing me to write a sarcastic joke about the event as a feeble attempt to mask my emotions about this poignantly pivotal moment.
I go home 6 years slower.
Selfless deed aside, Rocky's a dick for sharing this information with Grace and making him feel guilty about the time he's giving up.
Are you feeling it now?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The screenplay suddenly realized everything was going a little too well entering the third act, so it literally blew up the story.
It's a joke.
Oh, humor. Confusing.
Alien doesn't understand the concept of human humor cliche.
Words of encouragement.
You can't just say words of encouragement.
Sins of judgment.
Collector is closed. Move winch into position.
While it is plausible that they didn't have the equipment to trigger the winch from inside the ship, the script made that true only to exploit this moment as an action sequence.
Altitude warning.
Oh, hurry, hurry.
At the start of this, Mary said,
Manual mode activated.
"So why can't you just turn the autopilot back on for this part? All Mary has to do is maintain the altitude. Better yet, is it really beyond her capability to raise them out of there as soon as the collector is done?" Expecting me to believe this bullshit counterbalance seesaw maneuver was planned, worked, or could have possibly been planned to work.
Now!
Wait!
Now! Now!
Now!
Why do I feel like I'm watching a great version of a terrible scene in Star Wars Starfighter that hasn't been filmed yet? It goes figuratively and literally sideways as the ship's hull is breached and the leaking fuel throws them into a spin, problem that can be solved by dumping the fuel. Were it not for this sliding chair that seemed to have been purpose-built to fuck you when you need it most. Also, the emergency fuel dump process being activated by a series of buttons that seem to be several meters of inconvenience apart. This spacecraft apparently went to the If Chair Breaks Concuss Pilot School of Engineering. Why have we suddenly stopped being able to understand what Rocky is saying? He's the only character I cared to listen to. To be fair, Rocky, even if he was conscious, he'd have no idea if you were tapping or pointing. Fortunately for Rocky, and Amazon to be honest, our atmosphere is only damaging enough to make Grace's rescue painful, but not harmful enough to dissolve him instantly. This flashing light sequence goes on long enough to qualify as a personal grudge against epileptics. Oh sure, Mary and Armando can automate saving Grace's life, but can't do shit about flying the ship out of orbit or ejecting fuel tanks.
A measuring mistake killed my entire science team.
It kind of makes you wonder why the entire science team was working in the same place to begin with, doesn't it? Wait, both the science officer and the backup science officer died? Remember when Strat said,
These are the 3 astronauts going on the mission and their backups for redundancy.
well, what good is that redundancy if both the fudgers were in the same place at the same time? They should be separate at all times. And you know what? You should probably have more than one replacement ready.
I'm not an astronaut.
I don't need an astronaut.
Yeah, but also being an astronaut is kind of f***ing helpful, right?
You have no immediate family. You don't even have a dog.
Strat goes for the bold tactic of listing all the reasons Grace shouldn't care about the world as motivation for him to save it. Movie will spend all the some time trying to convince us that the best character in the movie has died when we all know for a fact that 2026 already has a pretty hefty bad karma debt to pay off. As I watch Grace find the astrophage killer, I can't stop thinking about the fact that humanity discovered a guy who can solve extinction crises this efficiently and then immediately decided to leave him in space forever. Just feels strategically questionable.
Obviously, I had to figure out how to breed a new strain of nitrogen-resistant amoeba.
And he does. Almost like it wasn't worth mentioning this problem at all.
Your very own laptop.
My portable earth-thinking machine.
A machine that I am pretty sure will not be able to function in whatever superheated ammonia atmosphere Rocky lives in.
With all human knowledge.
A couple of issues with this. How did they fit all of Earth knowledge into one laptop? I'd like to know what they prioritized, unless it comes with some insane Earth to Eridani infinite internet hotspot package. Second, why would NASA send Earth's back catalog up with them in the first place? I think the priority would be all the sciencey shit they need, some Queen MP3s and a copy of The Martian. Third, while you have definitely become bros with Rocky, who knows how conquery the rest of his people are. Furnishing an alien species with all human knowledge is a quick way for those ingenious, igneous bastards to put us meat sacks on the endangered list.
I didn't get you anything.
Sir, you are literally giving him 6 years of your life. Grace finally goes over to Rocky's ship, only to find out it's made of megalon, and Francis Ford Coppola was right about futuristic building materials.
I understand the stakes, but I don't have it in me.
A while back, the captain said,
It's not a gene. You just need to find someone to be brave for.
which makes me think that the reason Grace doesn't go is because he has nobody to motivate him. And I don't buy it. I don't buy that the thought of 8 billion people dying isn't motivation enough. Largely because a person that selfish isn't tolerating the indignities of being a middle school teacher.
I am trying to make you understand what I'm about to do next.
So it turns out Grace didn't volunteer for this mission. He was kidnapped and human trafficked across the galaxy. I just want you to remember that when the movie tries to let Ava off the hook by showing her watching Rylan and Rocky's home movies and feeling good about her decision. Also, would the rest of the crew have also suffered from this drip feeding of memories? If so, I'm seriously confused as to why there appears to be zero preparation for this.
Trying to think if there's anything I forgot.
Nah, you're at the end of the mission now, so the movie is done with all the memory flashback shtick.
Contaminant detected. Contaminant detected.
Just because I don't want this movie to end doesn't mean the screenplay gets a pass for refusing to stop inventing new problems.
There's a leak. I was able to stop it before it ate all the astrophage on the ship.
It was even kind enough to leave me with enough fuel to ponder the moral conundrum of going back to Earth or rescuing my new pal.
I can go home, or I can save Rocky.
I don't know that this is actually the dilemma it appears to be. He knows that Rocky has extra fuel, so even if he donates more to Grace and it takes him 12 extra years to get home, at least he's getting home instead of being dead. I mean, at the very worst, they can just go to Eridani, fuel up the Hail Mary, and go home from there. I know that last one is a good idea because it is literally what they end up offering. Also, the movie came so close to giving us an actual reluctant hero who refuses to sacrifice themselves, but screwed the landing by making him a self-sacrificing likable lamb in the final minutes, like the kowtowing cowards that they are. Rocky's ship still has that giant hole in the side of it that the tunnel connected to. It's weird, because I don't see a purpose for it, other than to give Grace a chance to get Rocky's attention. Why did Grace feel like a wrench would be a better way to communicate the Talmiba emergency than the translating laptop?
I've sent you detailed logs of all of our findings, and I threw in a little something else just for fun.
Hopefully it isn't carrying some kind of alien virus that will wipe out the population just as we're about to save it. This planet exists.
Please tell the Biodome Illumination team that it's perfect now.
This is way too many resources to spend on one Rylan Gosling, especially since I guarantee the people of Earth would not be nearly this accommodating if the situation were reversed.
Who can tell me the speed of light?
How and why is this guy teaching a species that, by most measures, is light years more advanced than humanity? For fuck's sake, it seems like the only thing they didn't do is invent the atomic bomb. He should be the one auditing their classes. Pebbles. I'm afraid we have to interrupt this sentencing with a last-minute scientific breakthrough. Fortunately, this movie is so awesome that a new strain of astrophage has latched onto our video and is currently consuming sins and shitting out sin removals. Following areas appear to be the most vulnerable. Mondays be like that. This ship.
Okay, so just put this box in another box.
Carl. These ships. This shot.
Oh no!
This hilarious here. This equally hilarious here. Friendship. This beautiful shot of medium rough texture circle planet. This beautiful shot of Grace having a moment.
Thumbs up, baby.
Rocky.
Amazing.
Rocky.
I can give.
Fucking Rocky.
You gotta wake up.
Fucking friendship.
How did you know?